you so much, Heather. The numbers are always alarming, but half of today's children say that they have been bullied in school at one time or another. And while the kids have likely, been on break this summer, the cycle will start up once again in a few weeks as they are heading back to school, and it's so unfortunate. Well, this morning, author and activist Gabriella van Rij has a look at how you can bully-proof your child against what many consider to be a growing epidemic. Good morning, Gabriella. Thank you so much for being with us. How do you define bullying?
Bullying is an extreme form of meanness, and it has many different forms. And what I mean by that is that I really feel that in our society we have dropped the ball on human kindness. We just don't know how to treat each other, and children definitely don't know how to do that.
Well, is it to the point of, you remember being in school where someone's behind you throwing spitballs at you? Is that bullying really, or is it really no when it becomes physical or verbal?
Not just physical, verbal. I think there's so many forms. Look at cyberbullying. But I think it's when it's continuous and when it becomes so paralyzing that the child or the adult becomes paralyzed and cannot live its life normally.
Well, has bullying always been a major issue? It feels like recently it's just kind of come to light.
No, I think it's always been there. But the reason that we talk about it so much is because there's too many suicides. There are too many children dying.
So as a parent myself, what should I do if I find out that my child is being bullied? Because oftentimes children will go months, if not years, and never say a word. And it's usually just out of fear.
Yeah.
What do I do as a parent?
Well, first of all, watch the warning signs. I know all parents are really busy. We're juggling many jobs. So that's number one, is really watch. The child shows all the signs. It will stop communicating with other children. It will not want to go into sports. It will isolate itself slowly. We always say, oh, it suddenly happened, but it didn't. It's a long, like you just said, it's a long build-up. So watch for the signs and talk to your child much more.
And talk. So why did you decide to write a book? It's called With All My Might.
I decided to write the book With All My Might because my story is unique, but the emotions are not at all. At one point in life, all of us have a moment that we feel that we don't belong, and children sometimes more than the adults. And so that's why I'm doing that. And out of the book grew that people wanted me to speak in schools. And the more I go into your North American schools, the more it saddens me to see all these social issues again. And the reason I'm in your state is because there is a new documentary coming out called Hear Me Now. And it's happening in Nashville. And the producers have been bullied themselves. And his name is Bill Cornelius. And he invited me to come to Nashville to talk about this subject.
Well, here's what's even scarier, Gabriella. What happens when it's my child that's the bully? Because sometimes, parents can be very overprotective and always say, well, my child will never do something like that. But oftentimes it could be, the parent's child that's doing the bullying.
But whether it's the bully or the victim, both need help, right? We always look at the victim. But I think that if we truly want to eradicate this, we need to really work with the bully. The bully has a problem. Not only did he learn it, he or she, because they're both, they learned it somewhere, or they feel so bad about themselves. This is the part we forget. And we think only the victim has fear. But I really believe, and through my personal experience and my story, is that the bully is fearful.
Yeah. I've always told that it's about power.
Yeah.
It's about power over someone who's weaker.
But the bully also wants to be like you. We don't feel that because we feel that we get picked on our uniqueness. I was picked on. I was short. I wore glasses. And yeah, and my color skin stood out, obviously, in Holland at that time.
Okay. Well, your book sounds absolutely fascinating. I, too, remember being bullied. I remember being in 3rd grade, and she was a tall girl, and I remember her so well, and it was always, as soon as I got off the bus, it was all the way home. She was push me in the back, and I remember taking my Bionic Woman metal lunchbox, and I just threw it at her, and I ran home. But the funny thing is, after all of that, we eventually at some point became friends. It's kind of bizarre, I know, but I didn't even know why. I never knew really why she picked on me, but she did.
But I think today we don't become friends anymore because the meanness is
just
worse.
Too much. It's just too much. Well, Gabriella, I thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is a book. Here it is. It's called With All My Might. You can pick this book up on Amazon.com. Amazon.com. A number of parents, they need some information like this because Many of us will go through this or have been through this.
Yes.
Gabriella, thank you so much again for being with us on Good Morning Memphis. So to come this morning.